Hi there, my name is Joni Launonen. I'm Lynx product specialist. I'm here with some special guests.
Ross Robinson here, Deep Snow ambassador for Lynx.
Cynthia Préfontaine here, a Deep Snow Lynx ambassador.
We will be talking about what makes Lynx Shredder DS a special snowmobile.
Okay, Joni, let's talk about kind of the origin of the Shredder.
Yep.
The first year in North America, we had the Boondocker.
Yes.
And now we have the Shredder. So what does that change brought? Why is it the Shredder now?
The Shredder name marks a big change. So we started with the Boondocker, like you mentioned, and in the Deep Snow segment, the big year for Lynx was 2013, when we brought the whole lineup of Boondockers with the deep lock profile tracks and so on. And those first snowmobiles, they were very good all-rounders. They were good in deep snow, good on trails, and the Boondocker RE 3700 was kind of the cornerstone of it all. Now, when we came with the Shredders, it meant that the snowmobile was more single-mindedly deep snow machine.
Yeah, and watching the top riders in your neck of the woods,
Yeah,
the Swedes, all those guys, watching the way that they've ridden that 3700 was kind of a cornerstone for them. That's kind of their go-to sled.
Yep.
Here in North America, we're so caught up in bigger, longer, more powerful track length, horsepower to tackle those big mountains. But now these snowmobiles have gotten so good that you see a lot of riders going back to a shorter sled because of that playfulness and their ability to still conquer the deep snow. It's become a really great sled. It's a sled that I ride a lot, is the 3700. So now we're just lucky enough that we have all of the options so you can choose whatever you want to ride. But it's really interesting that we've kind of almost gone back to, let's have a little bit more fun out there.
Yes.
And I think that's a big part of the Lynx. That's why I love it so much, because it's such a well-rounded sled for my riding style.
And Shredder, it's all about the fun.
It is.
I was fortunate that at the end of the season, I tried the 2026. And for the type of riding I do for the deep snow riding in the mountains, I noticed how much less drag there is with all the less point of contact basically there is on the tunnel this year.
What makes it unique is that it's much narrower than 25. Also, it has a bumper.
Which is amazing. Everybody loves a bumper.
I agree. And then we have shorter tunnel heat exchanger for less snow buildup. And one other thing that is new is the running boards. They are higher. The rear part is now more shallower. So you can use this as a support when you are doing bow ties and stuff. And basically the running boards offer more grip because of the better snow evacuation.
Yeah, that's actually one of the first things I've noticed last year when I've tried it, was the rider position being more on the sled. Like you're more prepared for anything the mountain is actually going to throw at you. And it makes it a bit more maneuverable, I guess.
Yes, and climbing extremely steep slopes is easier because you are in a better position for those.
Yeah, I actually really like all these little subtle changes for 2026 are actually making a big difference.
Yep.
What's exciting about kind of the overall theme of the Shredder for this year for myself is really kind of narrowing, shortening, trimming up a lot of the parts of the sled that make it perform better in the deep snow. All the way back to the tunnel, of course, with those adjustments in the running board, the shorter, narrower, it just allows that sled to get deeper in the snow before you get stuck, less points where you're gonna get hung up. That snowmobile will pivot around corners a lot better and really make a seamless experience handling that technical terrain better. And then when we move to the front, where our steering input is really important, especially side hilling. So a lot of updates that Joni can speak about here that are more specific. Yeah.
We have a new steering system, like Ross mentioned. It's called track steering. Then we have a new spindle that adds about 20 millimeter more ground clearance. And then we have a new ski, which is called Blade DSS, and it's narrower than the one that we used to have.
So tighter steering radius with that rack system.
Yes.
Less feedback as well. So when you're you're cutting across that side hill or you're in some unsavory terrain, the sled's gonna track straighter and you're gonna get less feedback in your arms, as well as with that little bit narrower ski, we're gonna have a little bit less bite, easier on the rider as well.
Yep.
And when we add more steering, that allows us to manipulate the snowmobile better in that technical terrain. When the nose of the sled's high, you can really crank on the steering to help slide it down the hill and be more precise in your side hills. I love the taller spindles. It helps get that belly pan out of the snow, so better deep snow performance.
And once again, less drag.
Less drag.
Yeah.
Less drag, less chance of getting stuck. And then when you're on those side hills, especially when the snow's bad, like later spring and you're on a really steep side hill, that longer spindle, you can feel it down there gripping more before it's gonna slide out. Because at some point, you get the sled so far into the hill that you eventually will panel out, but with that longer arm, you get just a little bit more bite on the ski so you can hold that angle longer and further. Overall, I mean, lots of these little adjustments that you might not really be able to pick up visually, but when you understand that, every level of rider is gonna benefit from it.
Yep. And I want to just say that the sled looks familiar, but it's totally different beast.
Yes, totally different. And when I hopped on it, I immediately felt more comfortable, easier to ride, and just as aggressive and more capable. So wins across the board for me. Everything that I wanted to see has been brought into 26.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. Joni, thank you for the time explaining all of the details on the Shredder, what makes it special. If you guys have any questions for myself or the Lynx brand, please drop them below in the comments and we'll see you on the snow.